You want to build experiences where the customer sees it as being delightful rather than being something what kind of stops them in their tracks going, hang on a second, what are we doing here?
Hi there, I'm Ryan Mayward. I'm the GM and SVP of Walmart Connect in the US. I'm with Simon Whitcombe, who's the VP of the Global Business Group for North America at Meta. Welcome, Simon.
Thank you. Absolute pleasure to be here.
Yes, it is. And thank you for joining us. So the Walmart Connect team is here at Cannes, talking a lot about how we're solving cross-channel marketing challenges.
Yeah.
And you and I have been in this business for a long time. I was reflecting the other day about DSPs in the early days of DSPs, and as social platforms were emerging at the same time, a couple of things were happening. Brands were thinking about, how do I get first-party data? How do I match it with identity graphs? And of course, Facebook was one of the first to come out with, an ID graph.
Yeah.
And what they wanted to do ultimately was say, I want to communicate with a consistent audience between different marketing channels. I want to match my data with a DSP and target my customers there. I want to do it on a social platform. And brands struggled for years with, signal loss and lack of scale, different attribution between platforms. And fast forward to today, some of those problems still exist, but companies like yours and mine are solving a lot of these cross-channel marketing challenges. And in terms of our ability to do that, Walmart Connect can deliver a consistent cohort of Walmart customers from channel to channel, and then measure attribution consistently. And one of the most exciting places we're doing that is with Meta. So we're delighted with the partnership. And I just want to ask you a few questions just to get the audience thinking about what we're able to do together.
Yeah, absolutely.
First question. So we're seeing the customer journey change, right? Over the last 15 years or so of e-commerce, the customer journey has really compressed. Awareness, discovery, purchase happening asymmetrically, maybe in a few moments, maybe on the same platform.
Yeah.
We also know that our customers at Walmart are really showing up well educated about products. They've discovered products elsewhere, notably on social platforms.
Yeah.
How are you seeing this shift in the customer journey unfold at Meta?
Yeah, I mean, it's, we like to think that we almost created a new type of shopping in many respects, and we call it discovery commerce. Nobody gets on Facebook or Instagram with the express intention of buying anything, but millions of people do every single day because of our ability to make a really accurate prediction of exactly what product might be interesting to you at any one given time. And, I always talk about this in large groups of people, and I ask if, who's made a purchase on Instagram who had no intention of making a purchase, and just about everybody in the room kind of raises their hand. We're incredibly good. We're incredibly efficient at being able to do that. One of the ways that we've been able to do that is because people historically have used their real name on Facebook, which gave us a real leg up or a real advantage when it comes to identity. But then we've built out these amazing machine learning systems and ranking systems that allow us to do that. But that entire landscape is evolving at breakneck speed right now, which I think is really exciting. So much of that journey is becoming creator-led, which is really, really, really exciting. And then there's just a strong desire from our partners to be able to work with a Walmart. No matter how much e-commerce has really grown over the last 10 years, the vast majority of purchases are still happening in a brick and mortar store environment.
Right.
So being able to connect the best of what we do at Meta with the best of Walmart Connect is a huge advantage, I think, for partners, and something that they've been asking for a very long time.
Yeah. That's great. And, speaking of in-store sales, one of our very largest partners is General Mills.
Yeah.
And we did a great program with General Mills and with Meta last summer. They have box tops for education.
Right.
And that's a great hook for General Mills to use to communicate with parents during back-to-school shopping season over the summer. And so we ran a program with you guys where we used video to engage parents thinking about back-to-school shopping. We made that connection to box tops for education. We helped General Mills build bigger baskets, drive conversion, take more share of voice during the important back to school shopping season. That was just one great example of some of the work that we've done together. And some of the things that were happening in that campaign were customers were reducing the distance between discovery and commerce, discovery and action. How are you thinking about reducing that distance at Meta?
Yeah, I mean, a huge part of the work that we do is, this idea of removing friction, right? We think our superpower is we're able to engineer these amazing moments of serendipitous discovery through our ads engine, which is incredibly powerful. But most of the people who are having those serendipitous moments of discovery, they weren't planning to make a purchase at that moment in time. Like I said, nobody is sitting down going, I'm going to go shopping on Instagram.
Yeah.
It just happens in that moment of time. So we think a lot about how can we condense that journey and how can we make it just really, really easy for the customer to be able to purchase right there and then, particularly be able to purchase in the place where they want to purchase.
Yep.
So, that could be, integrating checkout natively into our experiences. That could be integrating with Walmart, with our partnership, whether the customer wants to buy on Walmart.com or whether they want to go to their local store environment.
Yeah.
I think all of these are ways that we're thinking of condensing that journey. I think the other part of this that we're getting really excited about is agentic experiences. If you think about the success of our business, it's really been with that $100 e-commerce purchase, right? But I think there's longer consideration or bigger opportunities. Televisions might be a great example of that people want to buy, but there's historically been a couple of problems. One is the landing page experience that you give those customers, and the second is those customer journeys can happen over multiple stages.
Right.
And we think that agentic experiences can really take that to a different place. So rather than a landing page, the landing page experience becomes questions that you answer, you ask an agentic experience. So that I think is going to play a bigger and bigger part in the work that we do, I think, over the next 5 years.
That's exciting. And earlier you started talking about creators and how important they are to your platform, to the ecosystem that you've created. Walmart, we've built our own creator platform where we're trying to connect brands and creators that are predisposed to shopping at Walmart, promoting products that are for sale at Walmart. That's been a really successful program for us. And really what we're trying to do there is help out with creator attribution. I think that creators want to know and brands want to know how much awareness, consideration, and ultimately sales our creator programs driving. These are an important part of Meta. They're an important part of product discovery. How do you see the role of creators evolving, and particularly evolving as we bring discovery and commerce more closely together between, say, a Meta and a Walmart?
Yeah, I mean, this has been the biggest change. If you said to me 5 years ago that creator advertising or creator content will outperform traditional ads 70% of the time, I would have said that's impossible. I would not see that becoming a reality. But that's the place we're in right now. Consumers are really looking for creator recommendations. The authenticity that comes from a great product relationship with a creator where they are really leveraging that product and they believe in it, they enjoy it, is a huge force multiplier in terms of driving conversion. So we see that every day, and we're building many, many tools on our platform in order to be able to scale that moving forward. One of the ways that we're looking to do that is really connecting the ecosystem where either in an organic or a paid environment, a creator can drive a sale to a Walmart or anybody else, but specifically to Walmart in this use case, in the most efficient way that they possibly can.
Yeah. Another example of some of the work that we've done together that came to my mind was our program with Burt's Bees, where we really started experimenting with richer ad formats on Meta. Burt's Bees obviously famous for their lip care products.
Yeah.
And they've built out a whole skincare line. And one of the things that they wanted to do was introduce the broader skincare line to their customers and allow them to buy an entire regiment together.
Yeah.
And so we built out these add all to cart ads on Meta to help Burt's Bees build these bigger baskets of multiple items. And it performed really well. And I think customers have really high expectations today about personalization. And I think that extends both to the organic and to the paid components in the experience.
Yeah.
How are you thinking about balancing personalization and relevance while still maintaining a great experience on the platform?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about this a lot internally. It's really this idea of building delightful customer experiences, and again, I go back to our superpower, these engineering these serendipitous moments of discovery, and when that happens, and you're going about your day and you didn't plan to make a purchase, you just want to be able to do it really easily.
Yeah.
And I think the customer's patience for difficulty, it just isn't there.
Yeah.
Right. And you're going to see a lot of abandonment of these moments of intent. So it's like, how can we do better at creating those delightful experiences? I think the example that you just shared there is a great example of that. Really being able to add something to cart in an incredibly simple way. So yeah, as we build out product experiences, customer privacy is front and center. You want to build experiences where the customer sees it as being delightful, rather than being something what kind of stops them in their tracks going, hang on a second, what are we doing here? And I would say that we've become very, very good at that over the last 10, 15 years or so.
Yeah. Well, switching to more of the advertisers experience in your platform, you guys have been really at the forefront of making sophisticated advertising simple and easy to use for advertisers of all sizes, from the world's largest brands to small to medium-sized businesses.
Yeah.
And you're introducing AI to assist in that ease of use. How do you see that evolving from this point forward?
So it's agentic experiences is the direction that we see things move. Well, I think there's a number of different ways. Let me kind of go back to the beginning here. Firstly, I think automation plays a huge role. How can you make things incredibly simple? So we have a product called Advantage Plus, or ASC, as it's known in the market, that essentially automates components of targeting, bidding, and creative. So we can actually look at millions of permutations of those three things. So we can find the customer and pockets of performance moving forward. Now, we're able to do this with AI at the kind of scale that you'd never be able to replicate, even with the largest marketing team possible. So I think automation plays a huge role in how we're thinking about AI. A second area that we're really excited about is creative. So, I think in the history of media, digital media entities, and you have a long history in this space, so you will understand this. Every time you serve somebody an ad, there is a negative impact on engagement, because ultimately that commercial message stands between you, the consumer, and the content that you're there to reach. The Holy Grail, or the North Star for us, has always been, could we get so good at personalization that there's actually a positive impact on engagement, because the commercial message that you're seeing is so welcome? We're really close to being there. I mean, that's enormously exciting for us in our business, that we're so close to being there. The biggest problem that we have is we literally need a supply chain of creative from our partners to be able to do that. And historically, creative has been incredibly expensive.
Yeah.
That's where AI, I think, can really help us here. Because with generative AI, it allows our customers to really bring down the net cost of creative and deliver more and more into our system that will allow us to realize that North Star ambition of one-to-one personalization. And then the third area is agentic experiences, and we talked about this a little bit already. It's this idea that every customer has got questions in their mind about products, and so how do we give them the ability to ask an agent who is deeply experienced on that brand any question that might be on their mind that could be an obstacle between them and the purchase, or it could get them further down the funnel towards a purchase. And if that happens in a messaging thread on WhatsApp, that's a messaging thread that the consumer can go back to again and again and again, and really have a relationship with a brand that is in a messaging experience that they can choose to engage with or pull back with on their terms. We think that is a meaningful step forward, and we're really excited about what that can mean.
Well, I really love your comment about what's at stake here.
Yeah.
The ad is standing between the consumer and the content.
Yeah.
And we feel those stakes too as a retailer.
Right.
The ad is standing between the customer and a purchase. And so that's why, as one of our foundational principles as an advertising business, we feel like the ads have to be additive to the customer experience.
Right.
And it sounds like we have a very similar philosophy in that regard.
Absolutely. And again, I think that's been one of the most striking things about our partnership that I'm most excited about for the future. I think that we have very, very similar approaches. And I think that, we have a huge opportunity to align closer together.
Yeah.
And to your point, really shorten that customer journey and create delightful customer experiences together.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's really about connecting storytellers and creators and content and communities, and really community is a foundational aspect of Meta's services. And we also have a joint mission to shorten the path between inspiration and commerce while making that experience as convenient as possible. And as we do that together, we're delighting customers and we're serving brands, and that's very exciting.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us, Simon.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Great to have you.
All right.